Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio episode 438. Today is January 13th, 2022. I am one of your hosts, Kyle.
I'm another host, Mo.
And I'm Adriel.
And, hey guys, how's it going?
Good, you?
Good. Yeah, good.
Finally warmed up in Edmonton, and I hear Toronto is experiencing a cold snap, which I'm very happy to hear.
Yeah. And Montreal.
Yeah, it was minus 20 high minus 20 something, and then in the 30s.
How do you survive? How do you survive?
I don't know. I didn't go outside.
I don't know. I think we hit 4 degrees today, so
nice.
Much more livable. I don't know how you could live in Toronto and Montreal. Minus 20
so
something.
Cold there.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, well, why don't we get right into what we did with guns? And what we did with guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearm retailer. And this week we're going to highlight the Steiner Predator LRF 10x42 range-finding binoculars.
They look kind of like that.
Aha.
A lot of range-finding... Yeah, a lot of range-finding binoculars, like they have an obvious, big, bulky thing on them for the range-finding part. These just look like a set of binoculars.
That is impressive, because I was about to say that. They look small for range-finding binoculars.
Mm-hmm. Steiner.
Cool.
I bet you these are pricey. Oh, that's not so bad. That's not 19, so bad.
Yeah.
18, yeah, $1,900. I wonder how far you can range with them. It doesn't say.
It says
maximum 2,000 yards.
Ooh. Hey, that's
more than you need.
Good.
Like even the extreme guys are going like 1,400, maybe 1,500, 2,000s. Crazy. But I guess you would need that a little bit of fudge room in there just in case you're like lasing off something that's not great, right? Because I don't know what 2,000 will get you. If 2,000 is to like something that's semi-reflective or to snow or some trees or
good point.
What that 2,000 entails. A deer.
Yeah. I know with me, I look at the maximum and I basically cut it in half for a realistic target.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that said, I've got a SIG, 2,400 or something like that. And I can get out to 3,000 on like a big metal thing, like a grain bin or something like that. 3,000, no problem. But deer and that kind of thing, yeah, like 1,000. Yeah.
My loopholes, I've tried them to the max, but I haven't gotten them found out where that number is. I've tried something like 3.5 kilometers away. No. Okay. Yeah. Well, when you say 2,800, it doesn't do 3.5 kilometers. So,
you know, I have a couple of motorcycle license plates. I was thinking about bringing them back, but then I was remembering, wait a minute, that would be a perfect laze target if I wanted to get out like way far, right? So I'm gonna keep those and use them because they're semi-reflective and you can hit them pretty easily with a rangefinder.
Yeah, they should be pretty good for a rangefinder. Yeah.
Yeah. Or, I mean, the cheapest that you go to Princess Auto and you get one of those retro reflector, like things that you'd put on the back of a trailer or like a farm tractor or something like that. Now, those things will reflect everything straight back at you. So those are fantastic for lasing.
Yeah.
Cool. They just sound fancy. Retro reflector. Yeah.
It does sound fancy.
$5 piece of plastic.
Yeah. Or just the reflector tape and just paint a piece of cardboard full of it.
Reflector tape. Yeah. I wonder which one gives you the best range.
Well, see, I think like some of them, don't they reflect the light at different angles? So you almost need to get the aluminum tape so it reflects it straight back. That's a thought. Maybe
I should do a test. I should do a test with this. I wouldn't be able to do it at a reasonable distance with a SIG because if it's reflective, like I'd have problems hitting it. But I've got a Bushnell that's rated for 600, and on a good day, the best it can do is like 250. I'm going to try some of those different tapes, and maybe that'll be like a review. What is the best reflective material to use for lasing? That'd be interesting.
That'd be a cool video. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Adriel, do you want to start us off with what you did in guns and otherwise this week?
Well, I didn't do a lot in guns, but I've got like a kind of a topic I want to talk about a little bit just because it's on my mind. So I sold my place. Now I'm trying to buy one. And I'm wondering, like, what kind of features should my gun room have? So I'm gonna make a gun room. That's one of the things I think I need. So this will be like in the basement or something like that. I'll ruggedize one of the rooms. How does the criminal code go? Constructed for the purposes of holding guns, I think is something similar to what
I think
it says.
that's the technical termination of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
I'll
vague,
put one of those heart locks on the the door there and call it a day. One of those TSA locks. No, I'll probably
With a little fluff ball hanging from it.
Yeah. That'll be my my anti-theft. No, I'll probably put steel stuff on the door and the door hardware and whatnot. But what else? What else should I put in there? I was thinking like pin wall, peg wall.
Yeah, like a Galco, or I was actually looking at them this week because doing some thinking. Like there's tactical walls. They make some gun wall stuff, and Galco walls. Where were some of the others?
What's a Galco?
Those were the
They
two
sound
that
expensive. Is this like something cheap or is this expensive? Because I could do pegboard. I could do the rail thing where you put the hook dealios in there and then they stick out. Put your guns on top of there.
The tactical walls, I believe, is the pegboard style, but they're metal panels already, and they have the hangers. And actually, that was one thing I was looking at because I really like the Galco walls, but they're more of a proprietary hanging system. Tactical walls, which I was looking at for a specific reason, they actually have a lock that will go on. They have a system to lock your gun on. Now, if you're building an official gun room, you don't have to worry about that. But in a situation like me where I kind of want to have them out, but still be legal, you can have the lock that they lock them to the wall and you don't have a key ring full of keys. You don't have to do a combo. It's tactical walls. They do all the hidden in-wall stuff and everything too.
Looks like
an
I'd be looking
RFID lock, basically.
Let's see. I'm just going to share screen just so people can see what we're looking at and talking about here. There's one wall combo pack.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, they weren't the pinhole. They were the T-slot style. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the T-slot doesn't look as ugly. Like the pegboard kind of looks like your dad's workshop kind of a thing. The slot ones look a little bit cooler. And there's something to be said about looking cool, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
My only question with the T-slot, well, not really a question, is you need an end to get your hangers on there. Whereas like the Galco is more of your pegboard style, but it is a proprietary style hanger that you get your wall up and, okay, you don't fill it, so you can just, as you want to fill it, you can add to it. Where I just thought of this, that the T-slot style, you'd have to slide it in from the end. And so if you ever got a new gun and you want to rearrange it, you're
moving stuff
pulling
around.
Everything. Yeah.
Well, and that would, like, if you daisy chain these things, that would become a real big pain in the ass. If you didn't daisy chain them and you left like a little bit of room in between, then it wouldn't be as big of a deal. Yeah. I would need a few of these, though. I would need probably like 4 of these things.
Well, that right now, that's a 9-gun combo pack. Like both of them have packages that they already have done up. Like I was looking at a very specific section where I was maybe 24 inches and it's probably 10 feet long. So getting very
okay. Oh, that's gonna look so sweet.
I need bigger panels with more capacity. And I mean, this is like how gun safes rate like how much they can hold. They can fit 9 guns as long as like 4 or 5 of them are handguns.
Yeah.
Rifles,
I would check out the Galco. They have different sizes of panels.
Oh, wall gun thing. Gallo technology.
Gallo. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I see.
Packages, please.
I see.
They have a bunch of different panel sizes, and they even have one that's for if you have a 45-degree slope on your roof, you can hang the panel and your gun will stay straight up.
I want a gun room too now.
This is the cheapest way to go, right? It's just to build a couple. Like I would build this out of wood if I was just going to do a rack like that. Yeah, I'd build a couple short ones for some of the stuff that's not so long, and a couple of the taller ones for the taller guns that are massive. I like this open area in the middle though, because scopes and whatnot typically are pretty big.
On the same token, like those, I think those are maybe 3/4 of an inch thick.
Yeah, but this isn't as cool. Like this doesn't display. Like you need something like that to display the like guns on the wall, John Wick kind of a thing. You probably need some accent lighting, maybe some LED strip lighting, like pointing down at them or up, one of the twos.
Yeah.
When you show off the room,
I have a whole idea for mine when and if I do it, but yeah, and lighting is part of it.
It's gotta be part of it. Not even white. You gotta like put some blues and reds in there.
Oh, absolutely. There's gonna be rim lighting and then down lighting.
I may have.
Wow. 80, I mean, look, like what do you expect from me if I build one of those?
Yeah. You have to. Yeah. You have to.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is like you just need to store a bunch of stuff. That's gun store right there. That's not me. All my stuff is all weird sizes. Interesting. That's giving me some stuff to think about. So I mean, that's part of it. Peter dehumidifier. Yeah. I would need. It's in a basement, so I need one of those. But like generally, Alberta's pretty dry. I have a little like silica pack that I use in my safe right now. Well, used in my safe. And I didn't even need to like bake it off during the year. It just gets so dry in the winter that it's just fine. Basement might be different though, right?
Patrick's got the right idea. Gun rooms needs a bar and entertainment area to hide from wife and kids.
Well, so one of the things I'd like to do is a big long bench on one side for reloading stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that needs to go in the gun room. That might be like outside. No, it does have to be inside. Because you don't want like kids running around like messing with your powder and
powders,
making their own rounds that are better than yours and all that kind of stuff.
You can't have that.
Spicy rounds. Yeah, so that has to go in there too.
You need your cleaning area.
With
your vise for your scope mounts and all that stuff.
Yeah. I would. So one thing I'd like to do is a door lock that isn't stupid, that doesn't take like a long time to open. So I was thinking about a combo lock, but now that I was thinking about it, maybe like a fingerprint lock would be like. Is there a good fingerprint lock out there? It's indoor, right? Usually the outdoor ones, like you're not gonna. They don't work very well.
I haven't looked at them much to say.
I would like a because I would just like to be able to go boop, hit it, and have the door open. I don't want to plug in anything, use any keys, and none of that.
Eye scanner.
I mean, you could do RFID and have a key card.
RFID to your phone, maybe. That would be cool. Yeah. That sounds expensive, though.
Well, you're talking about fingerprint technology too, so
that's cheap though. Like my crappy phone has like a fingerprint scanner on it that like works instantly and is great. Mike was saying hide it behind a bookshelf. It's possible.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Just have a big bookshelf along that wall.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Into the back
I'm going to be in and out of there a lot though, because like with maple seed and whatnot, you got to like pack up guns and take them out like 2 times a month. So I don't want to dick around with a door that's like too heavy because it's got a bunch of books on it or something like that. I'd rather just.
Would you do your reviews out of the room, or you're going to have a separate?
I think that depends on the room. I think that depends on the room, because I could do a studio very well, and that would be nice.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like the studio needs to be in the gun room so you can have everything
behind
there.
Me. Yeah. Instead of this screen, guns. Yeah, I think so. Downlighting with the gun name like they have on high-end cars now. That sounds fancy.
Yeah.
Where like you like project like right underneath it what the name is of it.
Yeah.
But if let's say that those are like $20 a pop, that's gonna add up. It's gonna add up once. And I don't know if you know this, but I tend to move my guns a lot. I buy and sell quite a bit, and I suppose I could recycle them, right? Oh, it's another 1022. Okay, yeah, put it. I got another one of those. Oh, Glock. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll have a Glock at some point.
In the end, this room's going to be more expensive than the rest of the house, so it's going to be.
I think the stuff inside it, yes.
And the stuff inside it,
contents, yeah. Have them all in a camper in a storage unit, like in the movie The Accountant. Oh, that would be interesting. Mobile, hey? I'm pretty sure the police would not look kindly on my mobile restricteds. Pretty sure gotta keep those inside a house. But
mobile storage, I love it.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to not have to play Jenga with the guns, trying to get them into the gun safe. Just so because
that's my situation now. Yeah, I have to take out 5 just to get one.
Yeah, and you gotta like some pointing up, some pointing down, like just jiggle them in place, and it's like you've given up entirely on the knocks that are supposed to hold. Like, no, that's not.
Oh, the notches, they don't hold anything.
No, that's there with the gun safe.
They're decorative. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, gun safe. It says 40 gun. I might be able to get 15 in there.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's true. It's pistols. You can stack lots of pistols. So,
or maybe just shotguns, like pump shotguns that don't have a charging handle sticking out the side. They're just like nice and skinny. Some going up, some going down. Yeah. But I mean, it's the market is like surprisingly hot for January right now, so it's hard to find something.
So William's asking, needs a new safe. Any ideas?
I bought a Liberty from Cabela's years ago when I first started getting into this, and it has the electronic keypad, and it's been good. I changed the battery one time so far in 4 years, I think.
Keypad's the only way to go.
Yeah, and it's in terms of getting it open quick, that keypad is. So it's a Liberty, and it's been good. It's held up. So
I was gonna say, budget wise, the one I've been looking at, haven't done it, but PV Mart carries the Kodiaks, and they build them like, I think it almost looks like it's basically a cheaper version of the Rhino metals. So it's got the rivets and everything, and I think their biggest one, which is 45 guns, they sell for $1,500.
Oh, that is super reasonable.
And they look good. They are just the rough raw metal, and it looks riveted all along the edges and everything.
That is interesting. I've got like price wise, one of the safes I've got, and I think this is a while ago, but I think I paid $350 for it, and it's one of the 16 gun safes from Costco. Costco every once in a while, just locally, they'll have safes, and that one was $350. Holds a decent number of guns. That's the same one
my dad has.
Yeah. Some of them are Honeywell, some of them are First Safety. I don't know, some other like rando brand name, and it's all right. Doesn't hold everything I've got, not even close. I have to use like stack-ons and that kind of thing. I think for someone starting out, if you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of money, get one of the stack-ons when they go on sale for $100 from Canadian Tire, and after you're tired of that one, you'll buy something else. You'll still use it. It's still $100, and it's still like when you run out of the space on the next one, you'll start using that stack. It's overflow.
You won't be tossing it out.
Well, if you don't have a lot of guns, you're just starting out. That is a good way to go. Yeah.
Well, and having a safe makes everything so easy because you can put your non-restricted, restricted ammo, like all that stuff doesn't matter as long as it's your stuff's in a safe properly, right? And it's not going to stop a thief from getting after it, but the thief would have to know, like, I got to bring a crowbar in because I'm going to see one of these things. I'm going to have to attack it in this way, right? So if it's someone who knows you stealing from you, they're going to get into it pretty quick. But if they're just some rando, it'll still take them a while.
Yeah.
Or they'll just rip it out of the wall or whatever. Get your that's all. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get that figured out. Once that's figured out, then nothing for a while, for like a month, and then I can do stuff. I might have gun stuff in like a month and a half. Yeah,
month and a half. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's about it for me. How about you, Kyle?
Not a lot this week. I'm waiting on some stuff and plan on going out to the range this weekend. And turns out depends if they come in time. I'll be testing out a couple things. I'll be testing out that Gersan and checking out low power loads. I actually checked. I mentioned it, and the ones I have, they or what did they say, 28 gram loads. So pretty.
Who does grams for shotguns though?
They're your ultra light loads, and
How many
yeah,
grams
it's a box of Winchester. But a buddy of mine, he reached out, and I don't know if you guys have seen, but probably have, because Sig's been putting out those ads like crazy. The Axel electronic ear plugs.
Yep.
Well, buddy reached out. He was asking. I didn't like the cord between them, but we got a deal on 2 of them, 2 pairs, and so according to FedEx, they were supposed to be delivered today. And we checked the tracking, and they left Memphis today. So, so it's funny. He texted me. He's like, "Well, we'll see if they get here on time."
Yeah, the stuff from the U.S. is torture trying to follow it to get here. It's like,
yeah.
One of
the guys on Discord got one of those. Was that the GS Axel Extreme or something like that? Like,
the Axel GS Extreme. Yeah.
They look like a Bluetooth headset practically, but they insulate your ears, I guess, from the sound. Yeah. Anyways, there's a guy on the Discord that got one, so you might be able to ask him how he likes it.
I got him coming, so I'm gonna test him out. And yeah, the Bluetooth actually really intrigues me because it is a pain in the butt when you're at the range and someone calls you and you have to walk away to take your earmuffs or earplugs out, just answer the phone. If I could just sit at the bench and answer the phone and talk, that'd be kind of cool. So I'll be trying those out, trying the shotgun out, start getting ready for the season, trying to confirm my trip down to Arizona at the end of March. So yeah, that's basically my week. Mo?
For me, not much. There was no matches, obviously, to talk about. And they in Quebec, they announced that the curfew was gonna lift on Monday, I believe. But no, I don't believe there was anything about indoor sports. But
you can go to your girlfriend's house then.
Yeah, girlfriends.
Yes.
No,
yes,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I did make a purchase. So I've had a long love affair with the Type 81. And because when the first pre-order came out, I think it was back in 2018, I believe. I had put in a pre-order and then I ended up not waiting for it and I canceled it. So I didn't get it. And then every time there was a new batch that came in, I would always look at them and want to order. And then I didn't. So I always regret after it's sold out, I would regret it. And then on the forums, they'd be selling for way more. But so then a couple of mornings ago, Tactical Imports sent out an email that there was another batch available, and this time I finally ordered one. So I don't know about shipping yet, but hopefully I'll get it in a week or 2. And I ended up I wanted the folder stock, but I ended up getting the fixed one, which is fine. And so I'm looking forward to getting it. Like I said, I've always wanted one, and I didn't end up buying it. So it was time. And I had a bunch of 7.62x39 that I had bought in bulk a while ago, and it just was sitting there. So it's time to use it up.
Nice.
So hopefully I'll be going to the range in a week or 2. But
gotta use that before the expiry date.
Yes.
Yeah. Ammo expires. Yeah.
You know me about ammo. You know how I believe in ammo freshness, right? So
yeah. You like small batches. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the coffee sponsor. Yeah, I like small batches.
It just doesn't taste as good when it's past its best before date.
Exactly, right? It doesn't smell
have that same
good.
aroma.
Exactly.
Well, that's cool. So what did you get with it? Like, does it come with a sling? How many mags does it come with?
It comes with 2 mags. I didn't order any other accessories. I didn't get the drum mag or anything like that. So they were selling. So besides it being a folder and the fixed, they also have what they call the optic ready versions of both, which are I guess the safety is on the right-hand side instead of the left.
Oh,
And
interesting.
And the optic ready, hopefully somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, comes with the pins already in place.
Yeah, so the
if-
optic, it replaces the pins in the side there.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I may end up getting like a Picatinny rail mount for it and then put a red dot on, but we'll see. But for now I just ordered the rifle. So and this, like the original ones had like is it like a blonde kind of color to them? Blonde, light brown.
Like a light brown, yeah.
Yeah, and then these ones come more with a rosewood finish.
Oh, okay.
So to me, it looks nicer, but
I like the red ones. Yeah.
To each his own.
Yeah.
And so really that's it for me. So I can't wait for the matches to get going. I've been watching YouTube videos and I'm itching so bad.
Yeah.
So,
I
Get a
hear
bunch
you
of
there.
mags for that Type 81. Get like some random like AK pattern, like chest rig. Go to your range and like LARP as a I don't know.
Be all set to go down to Red October or one of those AK matches down in the States.
Nope.
No?
Can't take that across the border.
yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Can't take Norinkos into the States. They would flip their lid. They would love to see that down there. Like all the gun guys, the border guys won't let you through.
But Adriel, there's some
They
that
get
were
Chinese
there, right?
SKSs.
No, so they cannot. Norinco cannot export anything to the U.S. And similarly, you can't take a Nork from there. There's some from before
Okay,
94,
there are. So,
from before 1994. So those like Type 81s, there are a couple of them in the U.S. But all the reviews and that kind of thing you've probably seen have probably been like Canadian versions. There are some guns that we have here in Canada that they just cannot get in the U.S.
Amazing, right? They'd be jealous of us for once.
It's weird too because they are like some guys are jealous of like the Type 97 and the Type 81 and that kind of thing, but it's like I'm more jealous of them.
Yeah.
Well,
Take an AK over that.
I'm just taking a small win, okay? So.
Yeah. Well, we got to take them when we get them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into upcoming events. And upcoming events is sponsored by Telos Alpha. Telos Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. You go check out telosalpha.com for more information. And for...
I was going to say, is that a true story that Mike posted?
Yes.
That's why it caught my attention. That's why. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Mike was mentioning that Renko got caught selling guns directly to LA gangs. I think they were trying to sell them full auto AKs. And they were like, well, I don't know. We'll sell you some stuff. If it's up to you if it's legal there. And they're just like straight up gangs.
that'll do it. Yeah.
The U.S. should have just been like, sorry, I guess we shouldn't let the gangs buy full auto straight from you. We probably would have stopped them.
Yeah.
They just
Maybe
don't
we
like
need
business.
to check more shipments. Yeah.
But that was in 94. Like, I can't imagine they do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could forgive, right?
Now it's just protectionism, right? Just like the motorcycle thing. And yeah.
I bet you the people searching and knowing that the Norinco stuff can't come in, they don't even know why. They're just, no, Norincos are banned. They're period.
Yeah, I never heard that story. That's cool. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, for our first event, Tactics Basic Rifle and Pistol Course, Saturday, January 29th, 9 to 4 at the Gravenhurst Revolver and Pistol Club in Gravenhurst, Ontario. Cost is $230. Register at info@tacticsgroup.inc or tacticsgroupinc.com. And information can be found on their Facebook page. And just so everyone knows, Tactics is with an X, not CKS.
Link to Facebook right now.
Sounds
there we
interesting.
go. Got Lunatic Tactical Shotgun Mania Challenge, August 26th, 28th. Details are on Practice Score, or reach out to me if you have any questions, but basically just go register. And then there's a 2-gun Winter Brutality and Night Shoot in Quesnel on March 5th. And details are on Practice Score for that one as well. Ladies Days. Kelly, aka the CCFR Women's Division, is looking to support/sponsor Ladies Day events at your range. This is a range-driven initiative, but if you'd like sponsorship and support, contact Kelly at info@slamfireradio.com or info@firearmsrights.ca.
That's a great idea.
That's our Kelly. Yeah.
I'll
you want to do a range day? Yeah. So you like if you have a range and you're like, yeah, we want to do a ladies' day, you just contact Kelly. So we did one at Chaz, and it was like they thought of everything. So you could do your own event and like try to fumble along with it, or you take their event in a box and you run with that. You get the sponsorship, and it just makes it way easier.
Yeah,
it's all
absolutely.
pre-thought out. Yeah.
Nice. I would add that I've been seeing, like, we haven't listed them here, but whatever you shoot, dates are coming out. I know CNSCA is starting to fill up their calendar with dates throughout the year. I know Chaz to the membership has put out dates. I don't know if it's been publicly put out yet.
For a 3-gun or for
Chaz 3-gun.
They've even put Maple Seed dates up on there. Maple Seed, I think you'll start to see events getting published for registration in November. We're not going to publish them too early just because there's no point with COVID restrictions coming and going kind of a thing. So those will come like months before the event kind of a thing. February.
But whatever your chosen event and where you are, just have a look around, because I know dates are starting to get posted up everywhere.
Yep. Shooting sports are awesome. Get out there.
Yep. Move on to the news. And we don't really have any news this week, looks like.
Next week is SHOT Show, so there's going to be some news next week.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I know, just seeing memes and whatnot, it sounds like Magpul's dropping a bunch of stuff, just new products almost every day kind of thing. But I haven't, I'd be honest, I haven't looked at any of them, but yeah, but SHOT Show next week. So
that's always exciting.
Yeah. CCFR legal fund donations. We got Rock Cut Shooting Club with $5,000 and Prince George Rod and Gun Club with $1,000.
Very nice.
Thank you to those clubs for donating. And if you're looking for a way to help the CCFR fund the massive and upcoming court battle, and it is rapidly approaching, beginning of April is when we actually get to step in and see what we're looking at. But just goes to say, now is more important than ever. Become a member, donate to the legal fund by sending an EMT to finance@firearmsrights.ca, or stop by the website and donate to win a cool neon sign for the man cave or lady lair. Every $10 from your donation using this link gets you an entry. I think it's if you just donate on there, is it not? Yeah. They'll have a link right on the website. Just go there, donate, get entered for a sign. Their signs are pretty good quality. I rather like mine.
Register your calendars if you got one too.
Yeah, it's the new year, so register your calendar. Or don't. I'd like a better chance to win something.
One day I'll get my calendar too. So then
have you not gotten yours yet?
No.
Wow.
Mailman took it.
It's still 2021 here, so.
Are you sure it's 2021 and not another year?
1984.
1984, yes. Yeah, it's 1984. Nice. I like that.
Oh, Russ just added something. National Range Day CCFR for all clubs. Just so you know, Russ, right now the link didn't transfer with StreamYard, but I imagine they got that posted on their website.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, you want to get into new gun stuff?
You bet.
Oh,
Sure.
Russ said June 4th. June 4th is National Range Day for Ccfr. Cool. So you can check that out and see how to get involved. You know, get your range involved or whatever. So, new gun stuff. New gun stuff is sponsored by Bolt Action Coffee, and we've been an ambassador for them for a little bit now. And the coffee is roasted in small batches, and it's quite honestly some of the best coffee you can get your hands on. You can send it to your house by going to boltactioncoffee.com and use code SLAMFIRE. And it's a good reminder because I need to go put an order in and get some shipped to my house.
Yeah. And remember, coffee like ammo is better in small batches.
No, I order my coffee in big batches so I don't have to order so frequently.
I order my ammo in big batches because I'm cheap.
I'm lazy. I don't like sitting there and making more. So yeah, big batches.
Big batches.
So,
all right, let's get some new gun stuff going here. Let's get not that window, that one. Tactical Imports brought in some Type 81s. I heard.
Oh, really?
They're all sold out. Yeah.
I have to go order one. I'll be back.
Sold out. Sold out. This one says SE or fixed, but I'm pretty sure these are sold out too.
No, that's the only one that's available right now.
This is the only one that's available right now.
Yes.
Huh.
That is a nice color though.
Yeah, kind of a red color on the stock there.
Yeah.
Does look pretty good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now that SKSs are like $500, these are a lot more tempting. Because when SKSs were like a $200 like 7.62x39 with 5-round mag, like this is just like okay, it's an AK. But now with SKSs at 500 and these things at just over 1,000, that's not feeling so bad. That's looking all right.
And we don't have the VZs anymore. And then the M10X seems to not have the best reputation.
Oh, there's on Reddit. I saw some guy with a broken bolt from one of those just recently. Yeah, that's not. You don't
and
like
that's what 19 to 2,100 depending on who's selling it. So
yeah,
that's an expensive gun to have that issue.
Yep. The next one is Danger Noodle Slayers are in stock at Wolverine. That's a Snake Slayer. They're the Bond arms, 357, 38. If their picture was there, it would look like, oh, it's just a little Derringer, but it's actually humongous, and it just looks like a little gun.
Well, 4 1/4 inch.
Yeah, but it looks small, but it's not. I'll pull up a picture here just so people can get an idea. But yeah, you see the image and you're like, oh yeah, it's like one of those little Derringers. But then it's like, oh, actually, no, it's humongous. It's basically an over-under handgun.
Would it fit in a man purse?
It depends how big your man purse is, I guess. I think in the US, the idea is use those for snakes and that kind of thing, right? You just like carry it around, and it's just a basic gun for snakes and whatnot. Maybe you can get that the 38 shot or the 357 shot shell style. Shoot snake with that. I don't know. I guess it could be used for that stuff.
Yeah.
I really didn't like the grip on these. I don't like the grip on any revolver, and I don't like the grip on the Snake Slayer either.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
The next one I have here, I saw a note. I don't have any details. The Springfield Hellion. It looks like they took a rifle and they bullpupped it. They bullpupped some kind of rifle. This has got to be like one of those Croatian, because Springfield brings in stuff from Croatia. That's the XD is a Croatian gun that they bring in. This must be something similar. Kind of has like some Kel-Tec-y vibes to it. Like
I was gonna say it's like a KDB and a KSG had a baby or something. Like it's kind of.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to say that myself. I was just thinking that that could be confused for a Kel-Tec.
Yeah, a lot of space at the back here. Like the Kel-Tec has some space right here, but that's because on the RDB it drops the cases down there. The sun just drops the cases over there.
As I say, this has a leg up on the Keltec in that it looks like you could actually check your chamber.
Yep. Mike was
okay.
asking, did the FAMAS pattern expire? Is this a FAMAS clone? That would be neat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any details like this. I saw this just before the show, and
I think I've seen that because like that William's asking about that charging handle. I think that's a rotating charge handle. You can actually rotate it to either side.
yeah, like the RDB.
Okay.
Yeah, just like the RDB.
Interesting.
Maybe that's where I saw it from.
All these people who have been wanting the VHS-2 are finally going to get their chance. Okay, so this is another gun that Springfield is importing. VHS-2 rifle. HS product. Yes, that's who makes them. Oh, it does look like a FAMAS. Croatian. Yeah. Externally quite similar to the FAMAS. However, the difference between the production model that followed in the 2004 prototype is more than 90%, so they changed a bunch of the parts. But it looks like, from Wikipedia here, it looks like, yeah, they took a FAMAS and they're like, let's just make another one of these, but not pay the licensing fees. Neat. Wonder if we'll get those up here.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then SIG is releasing their MCX Spear rifle to the US market. This also I just noticed this today. Released January 13th. So I don't know if this is AR compatible or if it's going to come in as not an AR, but this is their fancy like next gen AR kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Multi-caliber, chambered in 277 Fury. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would rather have something in 5.56 just because I have a lot of it. It's cheap. But I don't know. I guess you could hunt with this. You could hunt with that.
Yeah.
Commercial variant of the 6.8 by 51. Ah, totally. Yeah. You can go hunting with that thing. It's probably going to cost like a fortune, though.
And that, I imagine that won't make it to Canada.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Guys, you can't have no in your heart. You got to just believe.
If I believe, I end up in jail.
Yeah.
But it could be good. It might be good.
Oh, I have no doubt. I mean, SIG makes good stuff. I have no doubt it's good.
It's got that side.
Makes
that
me
looks
more
like
sad. It does look like
a charging handle on the side there, kind of like the ATRS has.
Yep.
It
does look like that.
Bunch of buttons that are really close to each other. It's kind of annoying, but whatever.
Could be ambi mag drop.
Probably.
Almost looks like.
Yep. Yeah, that's what that'll be. I don't like the ambi mag drops because they're like, I get real rammy when I'm in competition, and I don't like having buttons close to each other. So like this button being that close, like if I ram that magazine in, I don't want to immediately drop the magazine because I slapped at the ping pong paddle and accidentally hit the magazine release. And that could happen because, again, I get rammy. Folding stock. It's got a big old butt on it, though.
Yeah.
Some guys like that.
I do.
Right.
Oh, wait. What are we talking about? Sorry, I got sidetracked. I apologize.
Yeah, it looks neat. Looks like it's that's not a very trim fore end, so I'd imagine that's gas to piston. So it's probably got a piston. What's going on there?
Yeah.
What's going on with this bit over here and this bit over here? I see a piston right there, so you could tap off there. But what's going on right there?
That's a big gas block. If whatever's going on there, like.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, that's neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't reload 277 SIG due to bimetal cases. Oh, bimetal cases.
That
so
sucks.
Is it cheap? No, it's not going to be cheap.
Probably not.
I buy like steel case 556. It's like, I can't reload the steel case. I don't care. It's less than 50 cents a round, but I think 277 SIG would not be inexpensive ammunition. Probably want some brass stuff for that. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're 15 minutes before our main topic.
Just keep going, and let's just keep going, and then we'll pop back to the main topic once the guys pop on.
Cool. So we'll move on to listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. And you can also find him on Facebook and Instagram. And emails. We actually got a couple emails this week.
Yes, we do.
Adriel, do you mind taking the first one?
Sure. Hello, Adriel and the Slamfire team. I'm having a really difficult time determining the appropriate optic for the VZ58. With your extensive experience, could you make some hard suggestions which will be effective for the caliber and rifle? Also, could you point out where you favor the optic placement to be, either forward on the receiver, similar to a scout scope placement, or on the rear portion of the receiver cover? I'm leaning towards the Leupold VXR 2-7x33, or a scout scope such as the Burris or other traditional LVPO 1:6 magnification. Cheers. I assume that this listener is in the US to be using the VZ58, because in Canada those are all prohib now. I never scoped mine. I had one. I've never scoped one. In terms of placement for red dot, I like to place my red dot like way up front if I can, because I like to not have something in my face and be able to get that peripheral vision going. And like the dot's going to be the same size. You would think like some guys like the dot closer so that they can hunt for the dot and find it very easily. But if farther out, you just need to like mount the gun the same way every time, and you'll see the dot no problem. It's way easier than like trying to get a pistol dot and like try to find it.
Depends on the size of the dot too. Because if you happen to say have a LCO or one of the Hueys, that's a big body red dot versus a Delta Point Pro or Razor or what's the Venom? The Vortex is red dot.
Yeah, they got a Venom.
One of those smaller frame ones, like one of those smaller frame ones, I'd be more inclined to put a little bit closer so that window is just a little bit bigger. I mean, he's asking about LPVO. I may be a little bit biased, but in my mind, you can't go wrong with Leupold. You're looking at the VXR 2-7. I mean, it's a budget scope, but it's still going to be a quality scope for sure.
I like a 2-7. I mean, the 1-6s and that kind of thing, those are good for like action shooting. So I guess it depends on what you want to do with that rifle. If you want to hunt with it or target shoot with it, more magnification. Like a 2-7 would be great. The nice thing about a 2-7 is that they can sit a little bit lower than a typical 3-9x40, because your objective is about the same size as your eyepiece, which is on a rifle like this and a mount like that would be pertinent. And you want it to stay as low as possible, because you are going to have to run some sort of cheek rest or cheek riser to get the correct cheek weld on that thing. That's another reason, I guess, why the red dot would be nice, because you could mount a red dot really low, lower than you can get even a 2-7 scope. And then as far as like the scout style, I can't say I'm a fan. I've tried them a couple of times. They're okay. They work, but like they're never as good as a regular scope. And unlike a red dot, like with a scope that magnification, I would rather have more field of view, so that if I'm scoping on a target or a deer or something like that, I've got more to look at and I can spot the deer. With a lot of the forward mount scout scopes, you have to basically address the rifle and the scope on the deer right off the hop. Otherwise, you can't see it unless you zoom out. They don't have great field of view, right?
Right. Okay. Well, hopefully that helps you out, Dario. Mo, you want to take the next one?
Sure will. Hi, guys and gal. I got my CCFR Gunny Girl calendar. Hopefully Mo got his by now. Didn't. I wanted a CCFR oilcloth cap as well, and was planning to order one with the calendar. But it seems one of the hosts who likes hats bought the last one. Sad face. I wonder who that is. It was great to have Zach from Armalytics on. It's no surprise the current government wouldn't want to release the FRT. They don't want you to know when you're breaking the law. They can't then send the national police to arrest any undesirables when it suits them. That's how a dictatorship operates. The exemptions for prohibited pistols are for ISSF competition. I would agree that all sporting equipment would be exempt. I'm not sure if you would want your sport to be in the Olympics. There are so many competing sports now, you would have to bump another out to get a spot. And being in the Olympics comes with many regulations and nasty politics. Yes, it's unfortunate, but even the Olympics aren't immune to politics. I was wondering if Adriel was going to publish his epic 22 LR accuracy tests. He said he likes to shoot with a purpose. I'm of the opinion that shooting for small groups is a worthy purpose. If he doesn't enjoy the task, he could have outsourced it. I'm sure there would be plenty of takers if he supplied the ammo and rifles. As for calculating group sizes, there are apps that can do that for you by taking a picture of your target. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good fight, and can't wait to watch the next podcast. Edmund, good letter.
Maybe I'll do that while I'm waiting to finish that thing finally off.
Yeah.
It's gigantic. There's I can't remember, 6,000 rounds or something like that through it, and all sorts of stuff. Your bolt actions, reloading.
Just take your spreadsheet, post it up there for people to just go through.
Take a look at. Oh, I put a spreadsheet up of AR-15 part compatibility with 180s, and I added it to to my wide world of 180s blog post on my website. So if you're interested in what the differences are between some of the different rifles or lowers in terms of compatibility, I popped that all in there.
Nice. I will be looking at that because I'm trying. Well, I should have said it during what we did in guns, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a rifle this year because, well,
the R18 looks like the gamer choice. It's very new though, and you'd have to take that into consideration. The Sterling R18, because that one has a bolt release that's trigger finger, like the BCL 102 had, which is a problem on the WK. Because on the WKs, generally you're popping your mag in and you're hitting the charging handle.
Yeah.
It has a non-reciprocating charging handle, which doesn't really matter. Trying to think of what else it has.
Are they available, the R18s?
Yes, they just became available. Did I mention that last week, or was that this week? I missed. Maybe I missed that this week.
This is the first time hearing about the R18 personally.
Well, they were pre-production model for a while, and they were on CGN. And it's okay, well, maybe it'll come out in 6 months or something like that. And all of a sudden it was they have them at the shooting edge. They had 10 of them or something like that.
What's the receiver width like?
Are you asking about the pins, the trigger pins and that kind of thing? I believe they're AR-15 trigger pin length rather than the AR-180 trigger pin length. So nice. You could use your anti-rotation, anti-walk pins.
What about you know what? I'm going to go look at the article for these answers.
I have these answers in the article with some tables and all sorts of stuff in there.
Because otherwise I'll just sit here and just keep asking. You can just tell me the whole article.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mo.
Oh, I was just going to say Russ made a good suggestion that I should tour local post office to see if my calendar's hanging in one of them. I'm going to do that. You stole my calendar.
I'm really interested.
Their van.
I'm really interested on how mail processing goes. Could I get a tour on how you guys do things here?
Aha! That would be something.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean I will get around to publishing that 22 LR accuracy test. As far as the getting in the Olympics, I would like a little bit more coverage. I wouldn't mind if shooting sports got more coverage at any way, because I guess biathlon gets a little bit of coverage, but imagine if they had some IPSC matches in the Olympics. That would be completely different. That the thing I like about IPSC is that it's very obviously a sport. The guys are wearing jerseys. It's all flashy. It's not like combat training or anything like that. When you see guys shooting, it's like, nah, this isn't combat stuff. So
camo's not even allowed, right? So
yeah. So I mean, I think that seeing something like that at the Olympics, people would be like, whoa, can you do that? Can I do that in my country? There's people from my country that are shooting this. Can I do that where I am right now? And that's
everyone that's not into guns that I talk to, they're always really surprised, and I explain it to them, and they think it's the coolest thing. But you know, most people don't know about it, right? It's not.
Yeah. Well, something kind of related to getting more people into the shooting sports as well. I think I shared it with you guys. I think I saw someone on Practice Score where they were promoting their PAL licenses courses through Practice Score, and doing the payments through there. And the thing I like about that is everyone who's getting a PAL license through that guy is also getting a Practice Score account. It's practically he's practically shoving them into competitive shooting.
Here's your license. Here's your door to sports. You
got their orientation to Practice Score. So when we say, oh, it's on Practice Score, they've already Practice Score. Okay, I know how to search for it already, and
my credit card's already in there. I already had to pay through there. That's not a big deal. Okay, what is this practice score thing? I wonder what's in my area. Oh, look at this 3-gun, IPSC, all sorts of stuff, right? It's a
gateway to shooting sports. I like it.
Yeah, we should do that for more stuff. We should use Practice Score to get people to sign up for like more like range open days and that kind of a thing. More events.
Yeah.
Because there's a ton of people at the range who go to the range, shoot their 30-06 a couple of times, and then go home, and that's it for the year. Or maybe they take out their handgun once a year, but mostly their handgun just sits and collects dust in their safe, right? So getting some of those guys, the untapped market of gun owners who just don't do a lot, to take it up as a hobby would be fantastic as well.
Yeah, in theory, the more they do, the more they care, the more
Yeah, I think like
proactive they are.
Every once in a while that don't really care. They're like, I heard they're going to ban assault rifles. I don't have any, so I don't really care. And they wouldn't say that if they were a competitive shooter for pistol, because they'd be like, oh, I don't have an assault rifle, but I have a pistol, and I know that once those guys are gone, I'm next.
Yeah, they're not that invested, right? They're not that committed to the.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it would be cool to get more of those guys, more of the guys at the range who just come once a year to competition shoot. Yeah. Competition shooting is awesome.
I can't see anybody not liking it. Yes, there's a cost, and like the ammo cost. And I think I said that on past shows. That for me, that was because I was still fairly new to guns, and going to a match and the whole do it at the safety table, and you can't have ammo there, and you can't get disqualified, and strapping up and then getting called to the line, and everybody's kind of sitting back, and you're being not necessarily watched, but the kind of the spotlight's on you at that moment. So, but then it goes away after a couple of matches. It starts to go away, right? So,
well, it can be overwhelming for sure, especially with something like IPSC where it is very rule heavy, and at every turn you're looking and I could get DQ'd for this. I can get DQ'd for this. I can get DQ'd for this. It can be definitely overwhelming.
I had that in the first 2 matches. I had that in my head the whole time. It's like, don't do anything. Don't do anything to get DQ'd. Do not do anything to get DQ'd.
I think IPSC's a good one though, because you're signing up for a training course. You do the training course first. Once you're done the training course, then you go to the matches. Like just going to a match, just bare bones. Like, should I be in a competition? Am I good enough to be in a competition? Well, that's not really the point. The people don't understand. Like, no, you're not actually there to get number one. You're there to like have fun and do the match, right? If you don't get number one, that's fine. You still have fun.
Yeah, and if you're brand new, make sure everybody knows it, because everybody's going to help you.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I think they just need to. But I mean, getting the Practice Score registration right off the hop is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are we ready to talk about starting a multi-gun league?
We sure are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah. See?
Hello there.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
How are you?
Good. I managed to almost get to the house without my car getting stuck. So, it's a good start to the evening. It's only in one pit of snow now. It's a good start.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so joining us tonight is Quesnel Rod and Gun Club. So maybe just start us off with letting us know who you are and what you're all about.
Sure. So I'm Tom. I'm the two-gun director at Quesnel Rod and Gun Club. Jared, who'll be joining us shortly, is working with me on all of the two-gun, three-gun, SAR style of shooting within the club. At the club, we've basically been doing it for a year, a little more than that. Predominantly two-gun, not so much three-gun. And we've just been building up our capability from a very basic sort of few barrels and a bit of netting all the way up to vehicles, swinging platforms, and all the good stuff on top of that. We try to, because we're not in the biggest city on the planet, make it as open and available to everyone. So we make sure that half our shoots are 22 PCC friendly. If you're not as physically capable as you'd like to be, so you've got a dodgy knee and you can't kneel to shoot for a certain section, who cares? Just enjoy yourself, stand up and shoot it. And it's very much a do it at your own pace. If you can do it safely up fast, good. If you want to walk it and it's your first time, no dramas whatsoever. And we've grown from 6 local shooters the first time we did it to pushing 30 now, with people coming all the way from Vancouver Island.
Nice.
And speaking of Jared, here he is. So,
hello. Hi, how's it going?
I just did a quick intro on the club, the sort of ethic we take towards the shooting. Any ability, growing it from 6 to 30 people, and the sort of complexity of the stages that we've grown through.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry I'm late, guys. Got kept late at work.
Yeah, no worries. Maybe tell us a little bit about the Quesnel Rod and Gun Club. So, like, how many ranges do you guys have? What's the range like?
Mega, in a word. We've got a 500-meter range, 100-meter range with 3 50-meter bays behind it. Mm-hmm. We've got a 25-meter range, 3 additional 15 to 25-meter pistol bays, a trap and skeet range, 25-meter heated indoor range, and we're building a 730-meter range.
Nice.
Sounds like eight bays or something like that. How many stages are you guys typically running at your matches?
At a match, we'll do anything between 3 and 7. But at a typical two-gun shoot, we do a fun shoot once a month on the first Saturday. And we typically run between 2 and, if we're feeling big, then 4 stages at that. And we typically pull in between about 10 and 20 people for that.
Awesome. So how'd the club start, or how'd the league start?
Me. So I immigrated from the UK to Canada. I'm ex-infantry, ex-combat engineer, and also in my private life, that was my small job. Main job was in the defense sector. I loved my shooting. I used to do practical shotgun shooting in the UK, and obviously semi-auto centerfire isn't really the biggest thing over there. And so I came here, saw the opportunity to use pistols and rifles, and wanted to do it. So basically got thrown under the bus at the first general meeting of our club when someone just went, "He'll do it," and pointed at me, and I became a director. And it sort of just went from there, basically. A couple shoots in, Jared joined me and started helping out, and we've just been doing it as a duo since, with help from a pretty cool team. What I want to do is make as open and inclusive a form of two-gun as possible, while sticking to the core challenges of two-gun. To me, it's not about just shooting 100 meters really fast. We've got the ranges to be able to make shooters engage targets out to 350, 400 meters if we want to. And I really enjoy that, because I think there's a lot of marksmanship which doesn't always come into play when you're stuck to 100 to 200 meters. That begins to show itself at the 300 to 400 meter range. But as I said, wanted to get as many people involved as I could. And so hence the sort of anyone can do it at a safe pace philosophy.
And how'd you kind of build up support within the club?
It was
was it already there where they're like, no, we want to do this. We've been watching some Forgotten Weapons. Can you just like do that? Was that kind of how it came about?
I heard a lot of support from some of the senior membership of the club, the senior directors and head of the club. That was fantastic. They were behind me from the go. But it was not just about having the support. It's got to be a two-way road. So you've got to be open, transparent, show what you're intending to do, involve people, say, hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing. What's your thoughts on that? And just having that open relationship meant that a lot happened. As a relative newcomer to a smallish town club, getting things going really meant just being friendly, open, and asking for help, getting people's opinions and getting them involved.
We were also pretty lucky with equipment. A lot of the equipment was already there.
Yeah.
The Western guys had a bunch of walls and stuff already built up, so we just used those. And we just got a bunch of popper targets from IPSC.
That's the other big thing, because typically if you're going to start a 3-gun club, there's a lot of cost in steel. You got to spend you could start with cardboard, but typically to shoot the fun stuff, you gotta blow like $10,000 on steel targets. So it's nice that you're able to use some of the IPSC stuff and some of the cowboy action stuff as well.
Definitely.
I guess you guys have like a lot
on targets.
Many dollars. I'm not sure we should say.
We all know how much steel costs, and good steel targets are expensive, like the reliable, durable stuff.
And it's the thing we learned was do not cheap out. I mean, range equipment gets used and abused big time. You can put a big sign saying don't shoot 300 Win Mag at 5 meters on that steel target. Someone will find a way. We insisted on 5/8. I think it was half to 5/8 inch AR 500 right from the get-go, because I just knew they were going to get shot at less than 100 meters. That was just going to happen. So I thought, why spend, say, I don't know, like $1,000 on a thing if it's just going to get ruined? Spend the extra $200. But equipment-wise, all the other disciplines were awesome to us. We've over the last year or so, much more of a sharing of equipment is something I've seen. One thing I would say that would help a lot of clubs is actually knowing what they have. One of the first things I did, again with the kindness of another director, was go from shed to shed, actually learning what we had and making a full written, X, Y, Z of each item. And central storage would help so much with so many clubs on that, because I imagine a lot of clubs are pretty distributed sometimes, and just hauling steel, not everyone's up for that. I think we had support all the way, and it's only grown since we started. Basically, I think people were a little nervous. Some people had misconceptions over what 2-gun was. I'm sure you guys have come across things like that before. And it's more about just saying, just actually inviting. Like if a director wasn't clear, or if just anyone wasn't clear, then it's, hey, come down and have a look at it. And, people are always happy. It is.
Yeah. That's one thing I like at Chaz is if people show up and they're like, oh, I didn't know that there was 3-gun. It's like, well, don't turn around and just go home. Come watch this and check it out. And for some people, they're like, oh, I want to do this. Like,
see what you're missing, right?
I've been shooting my pistol at the 50 like a chump, just like from the bench, just shooting boring stuff all over again. Like, I want to run around with my pistol. That looks fun.
So one thing which really helped people get involved was having a rental semi-auto centerfire and pistol. I lent out my WK and my CZ Shadow 2, and I just said $10 per person per day, and the money goes to the club. So there's no sort of hidden benefits for me there, if you see what I mean. It was just, here's a gun, it's got an optic, a light, an upgraded trigger, and all the magazines. You can use my belt kit if you need to, and the same with the pistol. And it just put people in a position where they could just turn up with their ammo instead of dropping. I mean, you could drop 5K easily to start 2-gun if you wanted to.
Yeah, well, not everyone can.
Exactly, and that's the point.
A lot of our shooters started out with just a pistol or just a rifle. They showed up and shot a couple shoots and then went and bought their own WK.
Oh yeah, there was some serious vapor trails to our nearest gun shop after some guys tried WSMCRs and WKs.
6 WKs, I think, in the first couple months.
Yeah, I think
just in our group.
Yeah, our local shops sold. I think they've probably sold a good 100 plus since it became a thing.
Yeah. For a town of 20,000.
Yeah, that's not bad.
They must love you guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, to be honest, they've helped. Getting good rates. Going to our local shop, like Frank Supermarket, they help out by giving us discounted rates on the cost of glow sticks. It's a small thing, but when you're running a night shoot and you've got a glow stick on the front and the back of every person who attends, that cost adds up pretty quickly. Just all sorts of stuff like that. That really helped.
Tell us more about the night shoots.
Oh, that's awesome.
Piqued my curiosity.
Yeah, me too.
You have my interest.
So the first response people normally give is, I thought you couldn't shoot at nighttime.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah. The regulations specify you cannot hunt between certain times, which typically, I think it's 1 hour before and after sunrise, sunset.
Something like that.
But that does not apply to full metal jacket, shooting at steel targets on a designated range. And if it does, then there's a few RCMP officers we've got on video, so it's all good.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's primarily like your neighbors and that kind of thing. But if your range is in the middle of nowhere,
pretty much. I mean, we checked it. I think Abbotsford does night shoots. They've got some great illumination for their nighttime shooting. And I had a chat with, I think it may have been their club president, and just talked it through with him first. Again, just using the experience of others. And we started small. We bought a bunch of LEDs and a car battery. So we had some strobe lights. Those road LED flares? It's battery powered flare instead of a burning one. Setting those out in front of a white painted target means at nighttime you've got a slightly orangey red strobe effect target at 200 meters. That is a challenge. Everyone thinks their gear's solid right up until the point where they find out that smokeless powder ain't. You get that big cloud of smoke in front of you with a strobe light, and your iron sights they're not night sights. Yeah, I was struggling to hit. I think it was a full size silhouette target at about 10, 15 meters. It hits you pretty quickly.
And how dark are the targets that are close to you? Like, do you need a gun light to be able to properly make your shots, or is everything pretty much illuminated?
Well, this is again kind of why we try to limit the amount of equipment that people need. So we had a car set up with bought the supplier of LED lights to the RCMP. We got in touch with them. It may not just be the RCMP, but they gave us a bunch of kit at cost.
Nice.
And so we built our own sort of red and blue strobe lights. It was, if it had other colors, we'd have gone with other colors. It's just what they had. But that was good enough to illuminate targets, I think probably within 50 meters.
Yeah, 50 plus. Yeah. I wouldn't say to make a good shot at 100, but...
Yeah, exactly. So that really helped. Like I said, the LED flares helped. So you didn't necessarily need to have your own weapon light or night vision goggles, but if you turned up with it, that'd be pretty cool. We do mix things up. So sometimes we have targets that are not illuminated, so that if you do have a weapon light, you get the full use out of it because it's not a big bright thing for you to shoot at. Or if you've got night vision goggles, you actually have to find that target yourself. So that just mixes things up a little bit. Safety wise, We do have a specific safety brief for nighttime activities. Small things like just having a different color glow stick for your first aid or trauma kit. Yeah, that helps. And just running through things slowly. That helped. And we always run through daytime or nighttime. We always run through our stages before we let anyone else actually come to them, so that we can identify safety issues. We'll go through it dry, and then we'll go through it with live, and just ID all the safety issues. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, proof it out. That's really interesting. I've been watching. There's a YouTube channel called Hoplop File or something like that. And he's really into the night vision stuff, and it's super cool. Like, as a guy who's like really into gadgets, like, oh baby, like watching all that stuff is so good. But I can't use any of that stuff. I can't use it at the range. I can't use it hunting. It's just a bunch of cool stuff that I guess you could have. But if you guys had like a night vision course, or if a guy who had NV could just run that rather than the lights, boy, that would be fun.
Well, two things. One quick thing. We had one guy who turned up and all these guys were getting out their night vision sets, and he opened his bag and pulled out a carrot. What a silly sausage. Good lad, though. That was a good joke from him. But what I'd like to do is find out the legality of using flares, because it would be a pretty cool shoot whereby you start at the firing line, parachute flare gets launched up, and you've got the time that parachute flare is flying to make your way through the course of fire. But the regulations we found so far say that for maritime use, you have to use red flares, and it's illegal to use one if it's not an emergency. But the people selling the flares sell white flares, and we're not anywhere near the ocean. But Transport Canada has chosen just to ignore our phone calls and emails so far. So, helpful.
That's funny. No, I mean, that sounds amazing. I mean, night shooting is something that I haven't done yet, and that sounds good. So in terms of volunteers and support for the club, you guys get 20 people out to a match. Do you guys run like a bunch of squads? Do you guys typically run 2 squads? What's the typical setup?
Usually 2 squads.
So you guys can make do with like 2 ROs kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, we can use our ranges in parallel, which helps a lot. But having 2 ROs, and then if you can get an additional couple people to, if it's a match, take down times and get the next shooter ready, really helps. I think for our last match, I think there was 5 of us. Two for each range, and then 1 person in the clubhouse. It really helps. And also, if you can split your shooters into an experienced and an inexperienced squad, it's nice to mix people up. It really is, because people learn. But if you've got a set of stages that are longer and harder, if you can put the experienced squad on those ones, they run them through quicker. And then the shorter, less hard, or just shorter ones, the inexperienced squad can finish around about the same time. And that way you don't end up with one squad hanging around waiting for the other to finish its set of stages on the other ranges.
Yeah, it ends up being like golf, right? You need to make sure that they're balanced. Otherwise, someone's going to be the golf marshal and come around and say, "Come on, hurry it up, guys! We got to get through this stage."
Yeah. That's one thing we really like to do on most of our fun shoots, is have a short courses of fire on the 100-meter range, and then we put one big long one on the 500. Yeah, and it kind of gives people a bit of a rush on the 100, and then stretches them right out on the 500.
Yeah.
And the good thing about the ranges is there's no reason you can't take a range and split it into 2 stages. Yeah, you can do that, no problem. On our 500-meter range, we've got berms at 100, 200, 300, and then 300 to 500. So I can take that 500-meter range and split it, if I wanted to, into 6 different stages. So the limit's your imagination, and there is a lot you can do. And just because your berms are at 100 doesn't mean you can't engage targets further than that, at the next berm, and so on and so on.
Yeah, exactly. So, how did you guys promote it to get people to come out, or was it like just super easy? You just had to build it and they would come.
Word of mouth to start with, wasn't it?
Yeah, from the start, it was just word of mouth. I mean, mostly everyone at the club knows each other outside and talks that way. But
the club has a Facebook page, and then I again spoke to the club, said, "Hey, how about some social media?" So built up the Reddit account, an Instagram account, and Discord, and just started, putting things out. Pretty simple. Hey, a nice picture, little caption of what we're up to, and then just talk to people. And people, it's like Jared said earlier. You've got that guy who turns up at the range with his pistol, and he normally just shoots targets, and he suddenly finds out that this is going on. It's the same with Reddit, Instagram, and other stuff. You end up with a lot of people going, "Oh, I wish my club could do this," or why the guys at my club don't want to do this. I wish I was closer. And people who just love it as well, and they share ideas and things like that. So that's helped a lot. And practice score, I think I heard it just at the tail end before we came in, massively would encourage the use of practice score, because twofold, it helps you track things a lot better from your end, and secondarily, it's a consistent platform for everyone to find other things on.
Yeah.
I look for things, and Adriel, I know you've got your free gun list on your site, but with everything on Facebook, it's a nightmare. It's just little silos of information which you have to physically go between, and just no one wants to do that.
Yeah, I had a Canada 3-gun Facebook group for a while, but people posted spicy memes on there, and it got turfed by Facebook.
It got derailed. Yeah.
No one was even selling anything. We just had some memes up, and they're like, "Oh, we terminated it," and they didn't let me know why.
Yeah,
but I had the thought to pull the community together. I just think that you'll have to do it on these disparate Facebook groups or on Discord or Reddit or whatever.
Yeah, and that's helped a lot. We've gone from, as I said, 6 people locally to, for our Winter Brutality match, we've got people coming all the way from Vancouver Island and Calgary, which is, you look at that and you're like, okay, no pressure, guys. We've, someone's just driven 16 hours to get here and a ferry. I'm sure they haven't got high expectations for that $25 ticket.
No. Yeah. What rule set do you guys use?
So the Finnish Brutality, we looked at theirs and said, it works. Let's make a few alterations for Canadian realities, and then that's it. There's no point reinventing the wheel. Someone else has done all the hard work. They're running multiple competitions a year. It reads easily, which is really important, and it's easy to understand. And I think one of the things I don't want 2-Gun to become is overly professional. That sounds weird, but you see some of the IPSC layouts and some of the practical shotgun layouts, and it's like this, if you've got this uber gear, super gear, you can, it's so defined specifically for that activity. Whereas personally, this is just me. I don't represent 2-Guns all, of course. I want it to remain open to the common Joe, and to maintain its roughness, if that makes sense.
I think the savagery of 3-Gun and 2-Gun is something that a lot of people like, and they don't want to mess around with the range lawyerness of IPSC. They just want to have fun and shoot.
Yeah, there's nothing against IPSC. IPSC is awesome. I enjoy it. I enjoy taking part in it. It's just not where I wanted to take 2-Gun at our particular range. I had one experience when I moved to Canada at a different place before coming here, where there was a biathlon club, and I turned up with my 1022 and rented cross-country skis and wanted to take part. And they said, no, you've got to I said, I don't want to compete. I just want to train with you guys, have a bit of fun, use the same. If you want me to use a special ammo, whatever, I'll use that. But they said, no, you have to buy a biathlon rifle. You have to have the special sling. And I just thought, I never want Two Gun to become like that. I want it to be open to everyone. I want Joe Bloggs to turn up with his 1022 and his TT33 and have a good time or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all part of getting a club going. Is you need to, especially in a small town or a place that doesn't have a lot of people nearby, you got to be able to take everyone who can come in, and whether that's with the 1022 or the SKS or whatever they've got handy, bring what you shoot what you brung, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, there's been some cool things turning up out of blue, hasn't there? Was it Brian with his double barrel pump action shotgun?
Yep.
What a hero. As a legend of a gent who just likes to shoot things, and he turns up and he'll sort of turn around midway through and be like, am I allowed to shoot that thing? Yeah. All right. Bam, 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 bam. He's just having a good time.
I didn't think about that one. Like we've had some guys take out like the KSGs and that kind of a thing, but the KSG is great until you get like this is an empty start. And I was like, that KSG doesn't seem so good anymore.
We upset a couple X95 owners with that. I didn't know this till the match itself, but the Tavor X95 with the bolt forward does not like taking a full mag. It will either jam, or if you whack the magazine hard enough, you can get it to seat. But both the guys who bought them had insta jams right at the start of the stage.
Sounds like a them problem.
Yeah,
it's a kit. You know what? It's what Two Gun brings out, is that thing which you thought was mega suddenly isn't when you get a little change in the rules.
We had a guy show up with super tuned, was it Glock?
Oh,
yeah, and it was it 5 degrees or something? It was pretty cool.
I think it started at -1 and pushed up to 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even cold, and that pistol would not function.
No. It's the same. Yeah, there was a nice Glock and a nice CZ Shadow, and I think the oil they were using was just super slick, and that's rather than. I think if you'd stuck engine oil on a regular one, it would have been fine. But they were just so fine tuned that the moment they weren't shooting in good weather, that was it.
Yeah. A lot of guys like really tune that stuff, right? They run bunny fart rounds for it, so it just barely cycles the slide. And as soon as anything doesn't go right, well, it doesn't cycle the slide anymore.
Yeah, I think we picked up at least 3 mags worth of racked out rounds from where they had short strokes.
Yeah, I picked up two mags worth.
Yeah, I mean that pays our way. We should get more of those guys in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I've been asking too many questions. Kyle, Mo, do you guys have any questions?
Comments? Actually, I do have one. With the growth of your club, you guys are growing all the time. You guys planning a big match this summer, like a big multi-day match this summer?
So Jared and I have been building our capabilities up bit by bit. So the match we had in November, great match. I think 20 plus people turned up. That was good. We are limited somewhat by the number of squads we can run in parallel. So we can run 2 squads in parallel, basically, because of how our range is currently qualified. I think that's the right term. On the 5th of March, we've got Winter Brutality. That is going to be brutal. We've got also coming up in summer, I haven't put this past you yet, but it's something I'd like to do, the Caribou Challenge. So I don't know if you saw Polinar Tactical. They had a great light infantry challenge, which they attended in Poland. And that involved navigation exercises, hiking, command tasks like building a raft and all sorts of things like that. And we live in a place with mountains, rivers, forests, everything. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't have a Caribou Challenge involving all of those sorts of things, especially when we've got a gazillion square kilometers of crown land to make use of.
Sounds interesting for sure.
I think June, sometime between I say July, August. Something like that. If the forests aren't burning and we aren't choking to death from the smoke, then I think something like that's going to be up.
Are you guys planning on, speaking of 3-gun, are you guys planning on going to the Lone Butte 3-gun match? I think they're doing one come hell or high water, I think, right?
Yeah. I wish Abbotsford had done that one.
I love going to other clubs' matches and stealing all their best ideas. I'll bring my phone and be like, "Oh, I like that target. I like that base. And I take a picture of that. Well, we're gonna make some of those."
Yeah,
not that it's stealing. Everyone would share like all this stuff among the clubs if
100%.
Right? Yeah.
I've shamelessly, I've got it in my notes here. YouTube steal ideas.
Yeah,
you don't need to be the best designer in the world to recognize something that's cool and fun and you can do and you can change it. So watch Finnish Brutality, Desert Brutality, Red October, all those good matches all over the world. Watch them, get cool ideas, you know. I think is the Lone Butte match, I think that's in July, isn't it?
July 30th and 31st.
Okay. I think I'd probably is that 3-gun or 2-gun?
It's 3-gun.
Oh no, I need to buy a shotgun. Oh well.
Well, Kyle's been poking around the Gersan MC312 as like a cheap 3-gun semi-auto shotgun. It's been looking good so far. Looks
see after this weekend, but it's looking promising.
I used to compete with a Winchester SXP, so I think I'll probably. Oh no, it was actually a Winchester 1300. I'd probably pick up an SXP because if I'm going to go cheap, I think you get better value for money with a pump than you do with a semi.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd probably lean towards that, and plus it's just kind of cool racking the action, isn't it?
And no tube capacity limits, so you run a huge tube on those pump shotguns.
There we go. Yeah. We've not run much 3-gun here because adding the extra gun adds more than 50% complexity.
And while your rifle, like you can make a rifle for 2 or 3-gun, and it can be used for other things. Your pistol can be used for other things, IPSC, that kind of thing. Your 3-gun shotgun is not useful for hunting or waterfowl or clay shooting. Like they are weird things that don't really have a lot of use otherwise. So you take like a $1,500 gun and then you hack it up and make it so that it can't be used for any other sport.
Yeah, I mean, if I could, I would use a Saiga 12 while duck hunting with a full-size drum mag. I'm not even sure if it's legal here.
I wouldn't go as so far to say that they can't be used for other stuff. I mean, I've taken my Benelli out duck hunting and I shoot sporting clays with it. Like hunting, I just take the tube off.
I think I like the idea of coming down in July to be sure.
Awesome.
I'll be there, so
well, good.
Already registered for that one.
If I can make it,
yeah. I need to get. I'm gonna have to buy another belt setup to have shotgun ammo and all that stuff as well.
Shell carriers, another specialty thing.
I mean,
very expensive.
We've got around it. We've done 3-gun a couple times, and the way we've got around the extra complexity is we've just borrowed someone's pump action, stuck a bunch of loose rounds next to it, and it's been somewhere downrange in a safe place where it's not likely to get hit, typically protected by some sandbags. And same as anything, you've got your dump barrel or rack. You reach the point, you've got your unloaded shotgun, you load it, you shoot the rounds in it. You've got a set number of targets. Let's say 5 rounds, 5 targets. If you miss one, that's 1 penalty. And then that way, with a pump as well, it's a little. I think people. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's necessarily always true, but there's with loading it, it seems to be people seem to get a hand of it a little easier.
There's a couple of extra buttons on a semi that aren't intuitive.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is they can show clear a bit more easily as well. So it's just we can throw some loose rounds. People can do their shots, and after 5 shots the gun's definitely empty because you only put 5 there. And then it's still easy to just quickly check as they do their dump barrel drop and move on.
Got it.
Yeah, I think if we could, we'd do it more. But I think
there's always the other option, which we tell new shooters all the time, is if you don't have it, make a friend with somebody and borrow their gear.
That's true.
Often, yeah. Put people in a squad, and you need a shotgun. Okay, you're going in this guy's squad. He's going to blow into the shotgun, and you guys just shoot two people apart, and we're good.
Yeah, here's the caddies. Here's the shotgun. Go.
Well, we did sort of skip the shotgun stage, and we went to rifle grenades because it turns out that we asked Runkle the Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
So the energy law, the OIC said certain amount of energy, certain bore diameter. So let's say you've got a Yugoslavian SKS. The bore diameter is 7.62. The energy is no greater than that which the firearm was able to fire with a regular full metal jacket. So if you stick a rifle grenade on the end, an inert one, I suppose it ought to add.
Important clarify there.
Key factor. But we're currently scrounging around to see if we can get some SKS or Mosin Nagant rifle grenades and stick them in as part of the stage.
That'd be fun. We did some mortars one time for Chaz, and that was fun too. Just with empty shot shells and dropping something on to do a mortar for one of the stages. There's a bunch of cool stuff you can do that like really adds to the experience. I remember thinking back, like right now, I just shoot them for I want to win. But I remember when I first started, some of those like little gimmicks or the little things in there, like they're so interesting to me, and they really got like hooked me and got me into it.
Yeah, I think when I was in the Czech Republic for the European Practical Shotgun Championship, they made an artificial waterfall which you had to engage your targets through. That was savage.
Wow.
Ooh, interesting.
It wasn't like a Hollywood film set style waterfall. It was a few hoses with holes poked in it, but it was good enough. That was mega.
Speaking of stealing ideas.
Yeah, there you go. I think we try with our stage designs to make people think and take to have as few rules as possible, so that people can take the initiative and do things their way. Mm-hmm. So we had a stage with a box of ammo, and you did a bunch of stuff with your pistol. And then you went over and your rifle ammo had to be in the box. And the box was next to a vehicle which we were shooting, leaning next to and shooting next to. And it took about 4 people shooting one magazine, running back to the box, going back to the shooting position, firing off a magazine. And he was like the 5th person suddenly realized that the box could in fact be picked up and taken with them.
Gotta think like a gamer.
Yeah.
Is there a rule against this? No. Oh, I guess I can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would encourage sneakiness.
Mm-hmm. I do like the thinking portion of it. We ended up running a shoot where they would run up to the hood of the truck and roll 2 die, and they had to add up the numbers on the die to get a goal number. Mm-hmm. And then the 3 targets downrange were worth 1 point, 2 points, and 3 points in that order. And they would have to add up their points they score on the targets to meet their goal that they rolled with the die.
Yeah.
So it was really it was interesting to see people sacrifice their shot shooting for a small 3-point target versus just hitting the 1-point target 3 times.
I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then having that devastating moment where they run out of ammo on the last shot.
Yeah. So they go for the 1-point target and make 2 hits, and then they're out of ammo.
Yeah.
Ugh. Just got to carry more ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen some magazines have been placed in interesting places by people who've turned up without belt kit.
Leggings,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
That was... Yeah. They were tactical leggings. We'll say that.
Yeah, they had a pocket.
Exactly. I think she managed to stick a lot of magazines in those leggings. It just looks a bit odd as an RO when they're rummaging around in the leggings looking for that pistol mag.
It's a Lycra thigh holster. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's been holsters have been an interesting thing. Like the moment you start this, you unwillingly enter the plethora of options that are holsters and that people are going to bring to the table, like chest holsters and drop leg holsters and belt holsters and active versus non-active retention. And we had a guy ask us, "Hey, can I bring a chest holster?" And my first thought was, well, it's immediately on the 90. But then Jared pointed out, well, so is a downward holster. So is a regular holster. That's right on the 90 if I was pointing downwards as well. And you start to pulling your head into different positions and trying to have to think about things that you haven't previously had to think about before. And that's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. People bringing like those crappy textile holsters out and going for a run with them, finding out the retention doesn't work that good, and out goes the pistol. And
watching someone jump up from the prone position into a standing position and their pistol do a 360-degree loop in the air before landing on the floor, that was not fun.
Well, people got to learn, right? Oh, you get DQ.
Exactly.
Okay, well, go get a GLS, and this will not happen to you next time, right?
Well, something we do after every shoot, whether it's a fun shoot or a match, is we have a lessons learned debrief. So we'll sit down with a bit of a drink, and we'll just grab a coffee or whatever, and we'll just talk through what happened that day, because we're on separate squads, so we haven't seen what everyone's done, and we'll talk through things that have happened, how to improve things, and I think that's helped, hasn't it?
Oh yeah.
And just follow up emails. If we get a bunch of people coming, we'll send an email out to people saying, great effort today, guys. A couple things to look at, something we've noticed. Looking forward to seeing you at the next event. You've got to be proactive with your communications. And so we've taken people's emails with their permission and used that to broadcast when the next event is, what it's going to be, etc. And that's big for pulling people in.
Sure.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, got to do the promotion. Got to get everyone in. Got to keep it alive. Make sure that you guys have volunteers that can help you out, so you don't burn out either. Because that's something that can happen with smaller clubs. Is you have one or two people who do all the work, and they get sick of doing all the work and they want out, and then it dies because
we've definitely burned out a couple times and just said, nah, we're not doing something that big again. Or just January, we were looking at the number of people who were going to turn up in January after December, and we'd done the competition in November, so we just said, well, okay, we'll do like a fun turn up shoot. We'll stick some different targets out at different ranges and just we'll have a Christmas shoot. Anyone can turn up and do whatever, but we're not going to set up like a full on set of stages, and just needed to chill out a bit. Timeliness and late shooters. It's so frustrating when someone turns up for an hour after the shoot has kicked off, and because they need the full safety brief, and then they need.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They just don't shoot.
That's exactly it.
It's easy to say that when you've got 20 people there already, but when it's like you've got 8-10 people there, and then suddenly 3 people turn up, it's like, whoa, that's a lot. That's a bigger proportional difference, and it helps if you can, reinforce it and make sure it doesn't happen again. Fair enough, but you got to be firm with that, and you got to be firm with shooters. There's a couple, when you come across someone who's complacent with their safety. We've been all over them. I'll say to someone, I'm shouting at you, not because because I'm being angry, but because I need to make sure you understand, you hear this, because I don't know if they've got earplugs, then ear pro on the outside, and there's other gunshots going on from the other squad, but I've got to shout, and I've got to make sure it's heard if they're coming clear, if say they break the 90 or they're doing something daft, which is a rare occurrence. But we've had to be very clear on a couple of occasions, and that's been good for everyone. So I would say to anyone thinking of starting this up, do not hesitate when it comes to safety. Be all over someone.
Yeah. Well, it takes one incident and then it's done, right? Then your exec will pull support from it, or you'll lose some sort of rating that you need, or and then it's over. So that safety is super important.
Tourniquets. I know none of us ever wants to use one, But again, an area our club was fantastic with was supporting us with purchasing trauma kits. We're 20 minutes from town in an area without mobile phone signal. We do have landlines, but if you have a bad day, you're 60 seconds away from having a really, really bad day. So we often, I happen to have some training in the use of them from previous military days and training. And so there's a few other first aiders within the club. So we made sure to get a bunch of first aid kits, enough to just stop the bleed. Great course, by the way, stop the bleed.
We're a big fan of that.
Yeah, and just at the start of every shoot, we ask the question, okay, does anyone here have first aid or trauma aid experience that's willing to let us know about it so that we can use you if we need to? We've got our own experiences, but we don't want to force anyone to do it. So it's just if you're willing, let us know.
Sometimes you got like an EMS or a paramedic or a doctor on your squad, and you're like, oh, all right, well, I'm not going to take charge if this guy's here.
It's always good to know who not to send to go call the ambulance. You get out of here. I think I got this.
Yeah, there's definitely been a couple people who, if we sent on the 400-meter sprint to the landline, they'd be calling the ambulance for themselves, not for the person.
I guess there's that to think of too. Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're getting right close to 45 minutes here, guys, but it's been fantastic. I think we could probably go on for another hour here. Maybe before we let you go, just let our listeners know about where they can find out more about you guys and what social media you guys are on.
So we are on Instagram as Quesnel Multigun, likewise with Reddit, and our Facebook page is the Quesnel Rod and Gun Club page. We are on Discord as well. We lurk around there, just injecting the occasional comment or picture. And we can be contacted at quesnelmultigun@gmail.com for any questions or thoughts you have. We've got our next competition, March the 5th. That's our winter brutality shoot. And hopefully sometime late summer, the Caribou Challenge.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Show up.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll see if I can.
Let's meet more magazines.
I'm only 46 hours away, so I might be there.
I'm a little bit closer than that is.
Yeah.
And actually, Kyle, I think that's not a bad drive for you either, is it?
No, it shouldn't be too bad. No.
Interesting. All right. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Continue on with the rest of our listener feedback. And actually, first up, thank you to those guys for coming on. Really cool to have them on. And like a year of doing the matches and that, and it sounds like they've progressed. And
to get like 20 or 30 people out of a match, like you can go a long time with having like 8 to 10 people show up to a match. So once you get up to like the 20s, like that's pretty good. That's usually a good indicator that you're doing the right kind of things at your matches.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Don't have any Facebook reviews, Instagram, Patreon. If you would like to email the show, you can send the email to slamfireradio@gmail.com or comment on Facebook, YouTube, whatever you feel like. And if you want to join us on Patreon, just go to Patreon and search Slamfire Radio. Shoutouts. Mo, do you got any shoutouts?
Not tonight, no.
Adriel? No.
Trying to get a new house.
No.
Won't be at the range for a while.
Yeah, I don't have any shoutouts either. So with that, we're going to sign off. So you can check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Give us a like and follow on Facebook. We are currently at 2,903. Give us review on Facebook and join the CCFR, and we will see you guys next week.
Good night.